What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are doing another live stream leftovers video in this. This is part 2. In this video, we're going to talk about CASSA, Keycat, INV, Dent, Doge, Math, and ETC. Those are the 8 coins that we're going to talk about, okay? Yes. And in this video, like the last video, I will leave timestamps, okay? So if you're looking here, below the description here, right, where if you click more, you can read the whole disclaimer about the video or whatever. Below there on the comments, I'm going to pin a comment with all of the timestamps so that if you don't want to watch a certain coin or you're just here for one coin, you can click on that. It'll take you right there. You know, that's how we do it. So let's get into it. Enough talk. We're going to start this off with CASSA. Hit that like button. Let's go. Here we are at about 10 cents for CAS. We've, back here, we were calling it. We were expecting you to continue to move up. Actually, it wasn't back here. It was back here. We went all the way back down. We actually saw a lower low, and then we came up, but in all fairness. But you have a double bottom. That's nice to see. Nice double bottom. Weekly RSI getting a double bottom in itself, and you are in a downtrend. You definitely are in a downtrend, but you still have room to grow. It wouldn't surprise me at all if CASSA made its way up to its 60. What would surprise me is if we got into the overbought zone, but we'll see. That could happen. You never know. It could happen. I do think that this downtrend is not going to be complete until you hit the oversold zone, but for now you're taking a break, come back up, find resistance at a prior area of resistance with this trend line here. Makes sense to me. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but I do think that you go higher. If we're looking at this from an overall high to low, let's just see where you are. Yeah, I think you make your way up to about 12.3 to 13.5 cents or higher, okay, or higher. So you're not done here. You're definitely not done growing here yet, right? Let's look at the daily time frame. Daily time frame, a little bit of bearish divergence there to confirm it. I think that this is fine. Bearish divergence doesn't mean that you have to go down like this. It just normally means, I mean, it could, but normally it just, would take you to where the divergence formed around here. So I bet you consolidate in this area. I bet, and then that's essentially what you're doing. You're looking to break out. You're not in the overbought zone anymore. This is a good look. I think you'll go down to the 60, find support there, and then continue to move up. That's the expectation. So maybe a few more days of downside, but maybe not. I mean, you're out of the overbought zone. You could flip to the upside any single day now. 4-hour time frame here, looking a little bit bearish, but in all fairness, you are at this area that you've bounced from the last couple times. So maybe this consolidation isn't as long-lived as I thought it would be. Perhaps you do come down a little bit more, but you find support still somewhere in this area here where you're at now, and maybe you get this head and shoulders look, right, with a left shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder, but it's a false head and shoulders, and you actually break out to the upside. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I don't believe you're going to break below 9.2 cents, okay? I think that you will continue to go higher. You've got some bullish divergence on your 1 hour. Yeah, I mean, this could have been it. It could have been it. That might be your low today, but it wouldn't surprise me if you spent another day or two consolidating, or maybe at least the rest of today consolidating, but perhaps over the next day or two we could actually start to grow. But ultimately where we're going again is about 13 cents, 12.3 to 13.5 cents. Could you go higher? Yes, you could see 15 to 17 cents. You absolutely could. But we'll get to that, when that comes. This is just the next target area. It's the golden ratio. Wouldn't surprise me if you found resistance here, okay? Hold on. Okay. Next one that we're going to talk about is Keycat, which I've heard of. I've never actually looked into it myself. Let's use. Is this an appropriate chart to use? I think it is. So like most meme coins, right? It has its initial kind of pump phase, then it dies off, and then it has its secondary pump phase, and now it's probably dead forever. Now it's probably dead forever, honestly. But Keycat is on Coinbase. It's on all these. Yeah. So what? That just means that the owners of this coin, they marketed it to Coinbase when they had enough money. Let's see. Can we get something with Deck Screener? Because I'm sure we're missing a picture here. Maybe there's more going on than I'm giving it credit for. Let's see. Hold on. I don't like meme coins too much, you guys. There are some that I really like. I'm not saying that it can't be one of them. It's just it's not right now. I don't know enough about it. Let's see. Market cap 31 mil, volume. Man, that volume sucks, guys. Yeah, this thing's going. Well, hold up now. It's fine though that the volume sucks actually, because it's no longer being traded on dexes. If it's being, most of the trading's probably happening on exchanges. So never mind. I forget about that. So this doesn't, that volume doesn't incorporate dex or centralized sex exchanges. Okay. So yes, very, very odd chart, but again, you have your initial pump, you sell off, and you have your secondary pump, and now you're dead probably. Let's put on some indicators. Let's get the relative strength index on here. Relative strength index. Yeah, you don't look good, man. The weekly RSI does not look good. Makes me think that you want to keep going down. Daily RSI sucks as well, but very neutral to be fair. Let's look at where you are. Low to high. And I'm not talking smack. If this is someone's coin, I'm not trying to like hurt your feelings. I'm just giving you my genuine opinion. That's all, right? I'm just speaking from the heart, from the tip of my head here. Okay, 236 projection here. 618 support. You've got lower highs, lower lows. I'm gonna stick with the trend. The trend is your friend until the end of the trend, after all, right? And you can't get above the 60. Yeah, I'm sticking with it. So where are you going to go for sticking with the trend? Well, you're going to find a lower low. Where's that lower low going to take you? We're looking for 30609 to 303933, somewhere in this area. Yes, somewhere down at the base of this range. Perhaps then you find support and you get a little bit of a recovery. It'll be a lower high and then you die. That's my expectations for this thing. And again, it's nothing personal. I just don't know, we'll see. You never know. Keycat, I know the Keycat meme. I'm aware of that. Very, very famous meme. Is this coin actually connected to that, or is it just like a fan of that and they're appreciating it? That's probably the more likely outcome. I don't know. To be fair, you are moving down with volume decreasing, which is actually not a bad thing. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't think that you've done enough yet to really demand that volume increases just at this point. But we'll see. All in all, let's look at Keycap before we move on. As far as volume goes, it's decent volume. It's not bad. It's not terrible volume, honestly. So that's fine. That's good. Maybe there's hope for you to come back, but at this moment, I don't like it. I think it keeps going down. But I could be wrong. Not financial advice. Not a financial advisor. I've been wrong before. Memes are very unpredictable. You never know when you get that God candle that sends you up a 10x overnight. INV, inverse finance. Inverse finance. So what would the opposite? Let's look that up. What is the opposite of finance? Spending? Poverty. Okay. It's a hell of a name. We've got poverty on the line here. $28.58. It looks like it has been impoverished over the past couple of months here. Looking at the monthly time frame, yes, poverty it is. Poverty is the right word for this thing. That's kind of funny. Maybe they didn't think about that, but I don't know. Maybe they did, and they were trying to tell you all along. From a high to a low, and I will say, what's nice about this, other than the name, is that you do have a rounding bottom, which that's actually a really nice look. Look up frying pan, look up rounded bottom for charts. That's actually a positive signal, and it results in growth. It tends to be a sign of accumulation, actually, long-term accumulation. And from a high here to a low, if this is accumulation, likely you'll get a very nice breakout and go all the way up to your golden ratio, okay? You'll probably see prices at 321 to 444. Yes, that's a crazy move, man. You're at 28 bucks right now. We're talking about a move that's greater than a 10x potentially. That's an 11x there to potentially a 15x, something in that zone. Maybe you stop at a lesser level. You stop at like a 6x or even a 4x, but and probably you do along the way. But I think inevitably you're working your way up here. That's my end of June target, is somewhere around 321 to 443. Bouncing right off your oversold zone, getting overbought, not getting oversold. We love it. Double bottom, relatively speaking. Daily time frame, looking strong, relatively speaking, but weak on the price, honestly. So you need to make some progress. You need to continue. If you turn around from here, that could be bad. You need to keep growing from here. I think you will. I like the 4 hour. I don't mind the daily. I like the 4 hour, but the daily demands immediate growth. The 4 hour suggests immediate growth. And the weekly, you zoom out, I mean, it also suggests that we're going to grow. So over the weeks, over the months, 321 and higher, inverse. That's what we got there. Let's talk about Dent. Dentcoin. I remember this one, man. Yeah, Dentcoin. It's going to change the way you do dentistry forever. You're going to apply the blockchain to your dental work. I don't know if that's still their mission statement or not, but that's what it was. Man, I remember this crazy pump. That was nuts, man. That was nuts. Everybody wanted to buy Dentcoin. I didn't. I learned my lesson by then, not to chase the bumps. But man, 26x in a week. You guys think I'm kidding. You think I'm kidding whenever I talk about these 20x calls, 30x calls in a 2-month span. We had one, a 26, almost a 27x here in a week. in a 3 week, in a month span from a low to a high. That wasn't even the low, right? You saw a 400x, okay? Crazy things can happen. Crazy things can happen in crypto, you guys. You think that I'm being too bullish with my 20x calls by the end of June. Dude, there's going to be some coins that do this or half this in that same amount of time. You know what I mean? This is crypto. This is crypto. Don't forget. Things like this help you remember, right? Even back here, you did it twice. Here's 4 weeks. You did 100x in 4 weeks last cycle. So not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but hell, that's what's going to happen with this thing now. This thing's essentially a meme coin, if I remember correctly. I don't know if there's any fundamental value to it. Last I heard, which is back in like 2018, there isn't, but maybe they've developed. They're still relevant. Lower highs, but higher lows after the bear cycle, so that's not bad. I wouldn't say that this is great structure. Oh, but you're finding support on the golden ratio. I guess that isn't bad. 1, 2, 3, 4 lows. Now, there's no such thing as a triple bottom. There is such a thing as a triple bottom. There's no such thing as a quadruple bottom, which this is. So inevitably what this means is you're going to break below it. I wouldn't be surprised if you got some kind of crazy pump, apparently. But I don't think it'll take you above this high, and I do think inevitably you'll go below this low. So just, this thing does not have longevity. But if you want to hold or make the play on a scenario where you might see some crazy growth, it might happen. Don't expect 100x, but you can see some crazy growth, man. I mean, you can see a 50x in 3 weeks. You never know, or more. Weekly RSI is right at the right areas to bounce, I think. Looking at the daily time frame, daily RSI showing some strength, and you do look like you've broken out of the downtrend. So where are you going to go, Dentcoin? In my humblest of opinions, let's see, high to low here. 786 is where you tipped there. Okay, you tipped the 786. High to low here. Where are you going to go? Well, I'm at least calling for the golden ratio then, if not the 786. So from here, that would be a 7x move, 6x move, to potentially a 12x move, 13x move. Could you see more growth than that? Sure. I doubt it. Okay, that's my expectations with Dentcoin. And maybe it's in the next 3 weeks. Maybe it's by the end of June. Who knows? And then Doge. No. Doge, is that? Yeah. Are we talking about? Was it Dent, Doge, and Math? I don't know. We're going to talk about Dogecoin in this one. Yeah. I'm going to give it its own video too, but we'll just give a brief little talk in this one. So Dogecoin here is consolidating. It's actually ready to move up. This one's easy. We're not going to spend too much time on this because, like I said, I will make its own video, but it looks like it's about to move up, actually. It really does. And I'm not just saying that. I very much believe that. From a high to a low, consolidating right here above the 236. Yeah, man, you're moving up. So you're probably going to see prices either right at about 22 cents over the coming days by the end of this month of April, or you're going to be moving up to the golden ratio, seeing prices at about 30 cents, 32 cents, not just by the end of April, but probably somewhere in very early May. This is kind of the projected area that I expect. Dogecoin, when it moves up, it knows one pace, so don't be surprised if you don't stop here and you keep growing until you have new relative highs. Inevitably, Dogecoin is right now, if we see something with more history, we are in a parabolic kind of formation, right, with this rounded bottom, and then it's just the way that's coming up. It's very parabolic. I think that we are going to see a higher high. I think we're going to see new all-time highs, and Dogecoin isn't stopping until it's worth at least 80 cents or likely above $1 by the end of June. That's the expectation for Doge, okay? Let's see. What else are we talking about? Let's go over math and then ETC, and we'll wrap this bad boy up, okay? Math. Math is actually looking like it's in a good area to bounce. Let's see. Is that the 886, 786? 786, 886 right there, yeah. Looking good. Looking good. I mean, looking sad right now, let's be fair, but you're up 27% this week. Bouncing off the oversold zone, we'll take that. Lower lows in this trend here, lower highs in this trend here. You're probably going up to form a lower high or something like that, or maybe even break the veil and get into the overbought zone. Whenever you do that kind of stuff, you get some very positive price action. This could be some kind of harmonic pattern right here. It could be a harmonic. I'm not entirely sure. This is where I wish MHAT was still here, man. Shout out to MHAT if he's still alive. I don't even know if he is, man, but he's a little bit more fast with the harmonic recognition than I am. From a high to a low, golden ratio and down probably does recover at some point. I don't know. I don't know though, right? I don't like this chart so much. If I'm being fair, I don't know if I like this chart so much. Let's see. What is math? I do think it grows from here. I do. I have no doubt in that. 16 million, not a lot of volume. That's okay. You're being. I mean, you're kind of being boring. I don't know. Maybe you should have more volume than this. I don't know. I don't know if I like this one, man. I really don't know if I like this one. It probably bounces from here. You probably see higher highs than this, but do you see new all-time highs? I don't think so. I mean, maybe. You're at 14 cents now. The call is ultimately maybe by the end of June you'll be, at these highs. If not, maybe you'll be at $1.35, $1.99. If you're not here by the end of June, then these are your end of cycle predictions. Real simple. You want new all-time highs? Get here by the end of June. If you can't, then you won't see new all-time highs. Simple as that, probably. You have a chance if you at least get to the golden ratio, but what you can't do is pull all the way back down here, pull all the way back down here. You have to have a tighter consolidation phase, and then maybe you stand a chance of seeing new all-time highs. But I don't like this one, if I'm being honest. And the fact that I've said that, now watch this one. This is going to be the 100x coin. I don't know. Maybe it's the best thing out there, but do your own research. Don't just take my word for it. I don't have a vendetta against this coin. I don't have any reason to not like this coin other than the chart. And the chart doesn't tell everything, right? There might be some big stuff fundamentally underlying that I'm unaware of. So do your own research, but I don't like this one. I think it grows from here. I think that's your low. I don't think you go lower, but I don't like this one. 70 cents, 93 cents. That's your next target area. You're at 14 cents now, so you definitely have some growth to go. ETC, USD, Ethereum Classic. And just because I want to be clear, there have been so many YouTubers who have said that they like a coin that I like, and that coin drops to nothing. There's so many YouTubers out there that have said that they hate a coin that I like, and that coin is glorious, okay? And this is back in the beginning of my crypto days, right? Don't think that I know everything. I could be wrong, okay? Don't go selling all your math tokens just because I say I don't like it. It might be the best thing it might be the best thing for you, but you have to make that decision for yourself. ETC USD on Coinbase, sure. Wow, ETC providing fresh lows in this cycle. That's crazy. Still accumulating though. Still accumulating. Let's see. Weekly time frame looking fine, looking all right. Bouncing off the oversold zone. Yes. I don't really like this one either. It's actually very similar to the math token, but I do have high hopes for Ethereum Classic. It is overall from its history. It's in a much more bullish posturing, right? We've got higher lows and higher highs. You broke out of your trend, but whatever. Those diagonal trends don't really matter so much. I would say you're getting ready to move up. High here, if I can get it. High. Nope, that was not the high, but this is definitely the low. That's not the low either. Damn it, come on magnet. There we go. Low, and then we want the high right here. High. That was not the high. There we go. High to low. So where are you going to go with Ethereum Classic? I think by the end of June we're looking at, if I can get it, we're looking at something of about a 4x, almost, I would say a 3.5x to a 4.5x move at about 63 to 77 bucks. If you're not there, you'll only be higher at 99 to 130. I really would like it if you got to above $100 by the end of June, because if you do, we could talk about new all-time highs. If not, you might be in the same position math is in, where you don't see new all-time highs this cycle. You actually are held down somewhere around 130 to 175, or maybe even just above your all-time highs. But 359 is an end of cycle target. 896 is an end of cycle target as well. We'll see if you can get there. It depends on how you act by the end of June, though. If you're not even at 63 to 77, you can count all-time highs out. If you're only here, it's very possible that all-time highs are not possible, but I would think that you have more of a chance. And if you exceed this, absolutely, you're going to see new all-time highs. So anything from 63 to 130, we're focusing on 63 to 77 for now, but let's see how you do. I got nothing else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button. That concludes the live stream leftovers. We've gone over every coin that was on the list that I said we talk about that we didn't cover in the live stream. So that's all I got. Take it easy. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.